Hey, it's Ubu, and today we're playing the demo for Dead Format. It's developed by Katana Levy, and you can find the game on itch.io. Basically, we're in the 90s in Scotland, and our brother has gone missing after becoming obsessed with a new video format called GHL. So now we need to watch different types of videos to uncover what really happened to him and why the government wants to ban this format. This is a mixed media game. The developer actually filmed some live action footage with their friends and family, so we'll see some of that in this as well. And I thought that sounded really interesting, so I figured we'd try it out for ourselves. And if you're not familiar with my channel, at the end of the video I will review the game and give it my final judgment. I will have timestamps in the description if you'd rather just see the review. Also want to make note, if you're going to download this demo, that I would recommend doing it through the web browser of your choosing. The itch.io app was having some trouble for me and I couldn't get it to download, so follow the link through the web browser itself on itch.io and it should work just fine. Anyways, we will go ahead and get started and see what's up. I'm excited to see how this goes, so play game. Okay, new game. Let's pick that. There we go. All right. Easy enough. Whoa, it's been 2 weeks since anyone last heard from my brother. Oh, that's not entirely unusual, except that I was supposed to be staying with him at his flat last week. Oh. Since he already let me know where he leaves his spare key, I've decided to let myself in. This game is quite loud. Ooh, perhaps I can find some clue to his whereabouts if I take a look around. Already a really cool intro, I like this. Cool. I've played a couple of games that do live action like that, but it's quite rare. Happy birthday! Ooh, this is strange looking. Okay. Cool, cool, cool. Cold. Yeah, refrigerators are usually cold. Is it like a cold-warm system? Yeah, okay. Okay. That must be on the table. Anyways, happy birthday. I'm assuming since you're reading this note, you let yourself in. Since you're getting so resourceful these days, I'm sure you'll be able to track down you gift all by yourself. Misspelled there. I think your gift is what you're trying to say. I left a few hints around the flat in case you get stuck. Thanks. Yeah, it must have been this I was reading. Yeah, okay. Wow. Okay, can I open the door? There we go. Super soft white toilet paper. I definitely like how this game looks. I'm playing on high settings, which I feel like it's just probably a little too much right now, but we'll get through it. Missing. Can you help? Male, 19. Blue eyes, 5'9". Last seen in the entrance to the tenements. That must be a Scottish thing. Okay, well, here's our controls randomly. So WAS, so we have left shift for sprint, we have crouch, we have lean, E to use, inventory is tab, and they all, yeah, there's some weapons too in this game. I forgot to mention that. So you have aim and fire as well, and reload. And each weapon will be unique to the tape that we end up watching. Oh my gosh. That is crazy looking. Why? Okay. Strange how quiet this game is now. The music was quite loud, but I think we need to keep looking around before we interact with that VHS player. Okay, what's this? Save game. Game has been saved. Okay, thank you. I like the sound effects there. That's good. Okay. Hot. We're fiery hot. Oh, Lord. What has our brother been up to? Oh, my gosh. He's like Charlie and It's Always Sunny. Creepy stuff here. Old metal box. This tin box has seen better days. It looks like the latch on the front is loose. Okay. Happy birthday, Yawi Dafti. Don't show this to mom and dad. Just tell them I got you CDs or something. I know you don't have your own player yet, so you can come around to mine anytime to watch these together. Thanks. All right. This place is kind of spooky. Oh, we have a storage box. Okay, so is this... Yeah, so where we are is supposed to be like a hub location, kind of like Silent Hill 4, if you want to describe it that way. So it looks like we have a storage box, I guess, in case we find things we can store. Anyways, I'm rambling. Okay, maybe we need to open this. Inspect. There we go. Whoa, okay. I did not expect all of that text. It's hard to read it with the other text behind it. That's kind of weird. Anyways, Symphony of a Severed Soul. Violins of Violence. When you hear his music, it's time to be silent. The silent era masterpiece that was almost destroyed has been transferred to the stunning new GHL format. The first film to feature murder on screen. Symphony of a Severed Soul shocked audiences at the time so much the film was banned in Britain for almost 100 years. Now considered by horror aficionados to be not only one of the originals, but one of the best of the horror genre. We follow two grave robbers as they attempt to plunder the grave of the recently deceased manic musician on a stormy autumn night. As they sneak through the graveyard, they recount the ghastly tale of the musician who sold his soul, but lost his mind, leading to the deaths of those around him. As the haunting ghostly melody floats through the graves, the two fiends realize they are not alone. It's time to crouch down low and stay quiet, or they won't be coming back alive. Pretty well written. I like that. So that must be our first tape. And it's clearly giving us a hint on how to, I guess, progress through it. We need to be quiet. Whoa! The grave must be around here somewhere. This is cool. There it is. Oh my gosh. Quiet, I hear his violin. He must not see or hear us. Oh my gosh. It's the mad musician. Lighthouse Protection Services. What? Okay. Oh no. Okay, we must be in the video now. Fun fact, according to my aunt, I have ancestors from Scotland. Apparently we hail from the Douglas clan, or they did. Dang, this looks cool. Look at that skybox. That looks great. Oh, look at the moon. Holy crap. Okay, anyways. Dang, this looks great. Not sure what our objective is. Door's locked from the other side. Okay. Alright, what's this? Two statues. One seems to be offering a violin to the other. You can pan around a little bit. That's interesting. Okay. What was that? I'm scared. Blank GHL tape. This tape is just marked with a question mark. I wonder what's on it. Probably footage of some kind. I don't know. Door's locked from the other side. Okay. Gosh, my nose itches so bad. Always something. My nose itches or something in my eye. It's like every video. Anyways. It's kind of dark, but I like this aesthetic. This is really cool looking. Look at that. Oh my gosh, it's like Bloodborne. Which I've never played. There is no name on this grave. I can't see how far down the hole goes, but what choice do I have? I don't know, we can turn around and go home. Here we go. My legs! Okay, crouch is a toggle, thank God. I'm creeped out so bad right now. I thought it said when music played I need to stop. Jesus Christ. Stop moving, that's what I was going to say. I don't... Okay. I don't know his pathing. He's right next to me, though. Pretty good directional audio. Frick, dude. He may have found me. Run away. Gold skull, strange gold skull that seems to be vibrating at a strange frequency. There is an indented impression on the bottom that looks like it slots into something. I was reading that fast. I don't know if it paused the game or not. So, I'm panicking. His tempo got way faster when he saw me. Just pretty cool concept for chase music. Okay, so now we need to figure out what the skull goes into. Or onto. I really should have paid attention to what the lean button was. I assume it's... I don't know. We'll figure it out. Maybe it goes here. He is so close to me. Okay. Progress. Progress. A healing GHL tape. This table will recover some health when consumed. Let me see our status. Okay, we have 73 health. Inspect. Let's inspect the blank one. Pretty good model. That looks good. I feel like I'm being a lot more analytical than I usually am, like, during the gameplay, so I hope that's okay. I'm having fun. I'll save my healing tape for now. Wish I had a flashlight, though, because it's mad dark. Okay, we have transitioned into metallic world. What does this do? What is this? Some kind of puzzle? I don't understand. Let's look around. Finally, I'm free to always work on my creations. Up there in the old world, I had to waste so much time. Waste time on a job. Waste time with people. Waste time eating and sleeping. Not here. Here I have all the organic matter I could desire and the freedom to create whatever my heart desires. Like Frankenstein. Failures, they were all failures. The matter soon breaks down in this place and they return back to the dead husks they once were. I need to branch out to other creatures, cross species, and take the best traits from each. There are no limitations here. Eureka, I've done it. I've created the perfect organism. Xenomorph? After so many failed attempts, all it took was the right combination of creatures from these worlds. The recipe is as follows. Eye of a cyclops, leg of a spider, wings of a bat. Okay, so cyclops, spider, bat. I don't know what that's... Okay, maybe that's this. No. Ew. I hope that organism doesn't chase us. Hello? What is all that noise? Let's move on. I don't know if I missed something back here. It might explain it. Ooh, our footsteps are loud. My God. I read this, right? Yeah. Wait, I thought I did. I picked it up that time. Okay, maybe I didn't read it. Sorry. I'm not sure how long I've been trapped in this hallway. It should be days, or it could be days or perhaps even weeks. It's impossible to tell when this place is always night and so far underground. At least I managed to slip past the violin-playing devil, but I now seem to be stuck here between the wine cellar to the left and some sort of laboratory to the right. I first ventured into the wine cellar, but as soon as I did, some undead grave robbers rose from the earth and started to attack me. Fortunately, I was able to scramble back here and they didn't follow. I guess I'll need to arm myself with some kind of weapon before I venture back in there. My other choice is that laboratory to the right, but I'm worried about the screams and strange noises I hear from there. I think the scientists working in there may have gone mad. I guess I'll wait here and see if help arrives. At least I don't feel hungry in this place, but I am getting rather tired. Okay. What happened? The game had a bad hiccup there. Oh my God, those things are creepy. Jesus. God, those are creepy. Need a weapon? I need a weapon. Or maybe did I just run by them? Oh, I'm sorry, I don't mean to disturb you. Oh, I see. I think the coils up there have like these white lines on them. And maybe I need to match them up. Like the one on the left is matched up. I mean, that's just a guess. Oh, there we go. Okay. Alright. It took me a minute to even realize that. My God, what's happening? Okay. I think the combination is like, okay, so Cyclops, Spider, Bat. So does this mean like 1, 8... What would Bat be? 2? 3? Okay. I was thinking about that when I was walking around. Oh, okay. All right. That was very subtle. I'm glad I actually kept looking at that. Sewer smiles. If something in the sewer smiles at you, run. The sci-fi horror masterpiece is finally available as it was intended to be seen on GHL format. When an alien spaceship crashes into Earth, it smashes right into the sewer system below a highly populated city, of course. One curious homeless man ventures over to see what the explosion was and gets more than he bargained for. On board the ship's trash room was a parasitic life form that consumes filth, and heaven knows the city is full of it. Everything it consumes, it turns to flesh, and anything that was already flesh becomes twisted. A team of scientists must race against an all-consuming foe in an effort to discover a way to stop the parasite and save the world. Or is it already too late as this world drowns in our filth? With outlandish special effects and a throbbing electronic score by the director, Sewer Smiles is as thrilling as it is disgusting. Kind of like Blob from Another World, or whatever it's called, The Blob. Door is now unlocked. Okay, do I just go back home? I wonder now if you have to, like, traverse through other tapes and then maybe do some backtracking with things you find. Yeah, that would actually be really interesting. Because we need a weapon now to progress through that tape, I guess. Okay. So now... Maybe... Did we try the blank one? Let's try the blank one. Doctor will be with you soon. I wish I could get the E to go off my screen. I'm kind of tired of that. Slow your dreams down. Cry for help. This cloud cannot take your call. If you run from your body, where will you live? Whoa, that's weird. Okay, we got some healing tapes for that, so that's pretty cool. Okay, let's try Sewer Smiles. Directed by Alexander Giles. Pretty cool. Stop motion looking action going on here. Sewer Smiles. Kind of reminds me of The Thing and The Blob. Like, what's that in the sky? Whoa. It's literally like a trash bag. The aliens have trash bags. Ew. Where'd he get a gun? Oh my god. It's like a flesh pistol. Forget I said that. What's all this screaming? Yeah, I wish I could figure out how to watch these without... Maybe if I stand back here? Yeah, but there's still this newspaper in the way. Ghoulish videos spawn wave of ghastly films. A rival video format to VHS and Betamax called GHL, referred to as Ghouls, has sparked outrage in both the public and in Parliament recently. Tapes were introduced, beating the competition in terms of both quality and recording length, that faced some backlash due to the increased risk of the tapes becoming haunted. Regardless of whether... Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Shut up. Try to read. Regardless of whether these rumors of hauntings are true, the reputation of the format has made it popular with the youth for the distribution of bootleg horror tapes. While many deny the legitimacy of these claims of hauntings are true, that's some weird grammar. I don't know if that just sounds weird. There has been an alarming recent rise in the numbers of missing persons cases. There have also been reports of outbursts of violence in connection with the tapes, although these reports are so far unsubstantiated. Concerned parents have formed, you have another typo there, a group to combat this torrent of violent and depraved films flooding the market. With the support of key cabinet members and spearheaded by renowned conservative activist Mary Lighthouse, the Lighthouse thing at the end of the videos, the group, Lighthouse Protection Services, are calling for the banning of all ghoul film and the public execution of any person found in possession of them. Good Lord. Lighthouse was reached for this comment. If we don't publicly execute these depraved individuals in the manner they deserve, then we run the risk of potentially exposing this country's children to violence on film, which most certainly leads to violent behavior. That is not true. I realize this game has it's like a commentary on that kind of rhetoric with, oh, violent video games and movies cause violence, which is not proven. It's actually disproven from what I've seen. Okay. Anyways, I don't want to go on a rant about that, but it's all nonsense. Okay, I guess we'll try out Sewer Smiles now. Damn, this game looks cool. Ooh. Very unique aesthetic. It almost gives off, clearly it gives off like a found footage kind of appeal, which I am liking. Okay, now it said if something smiles at us, we need to run. Which way did we go? Did we go this way? Oh boy, there are a lot of notes though. Sewers inspection report. 3 more weeks of research down here. The water parasite levels are off the charts and the equipment they have given us doesn't seem to be up to snuff. Jim's utter incompetence is not helping matters. I didn't realize causing burst pipes and broken machinery was part of his job description. Only 3 more weeks and I'll be out of here. This is October 12th, 1986. This is the sewers inspection report. A few of the fellas have been reporting strange smells down here. Not exactly surprising considering where we are, but I can't say they are wrong. They describe it as meat, but not like it's rotting, more like it's fresh. If that wasn't enough, I'm also getting reports from them of strange noises like scratching and screeches. I think we're all just overworked. We have to hit that deadline in the next couple of weeks if we are expecting to get any kind of bonus pay. Okay, so this is 3 days later. 3 of us are now missing. What the frick is going on down here? There are only 2 of us left and Jim went to go and find us some supplies. I was bitten by something in the dark and it seems to have infected my leg. I can't walk. I thought it was turning gangrenous, but it's still fresh. It bleeds constantly and smells almost sweet. Something is calling me in the dark. A voice. It wants me to follow. As soon as I'm able to move again, I'll investigate and see what's there. You crazy. Loud down here. Squeak. What is this? Dear God, I don't want to get near that. It'll crush me. Man, this game, I can't get over how cool it looks. Look how fast we are while crouched. That's great. Hello? What is that? Oh my God. I hate this. Hopefully I can find that flesh pistol. The pistol made of meat. That doesn't sound good either. Oh God, a weapon. Hopefully we can find a weapon. I'm nervous. Yes, let's follow the creature. Whatever we're doing in here. Oh God. Jesus. This is a nightmare. A total nightmare. Need a hand? Ooh. This is not good. It's gotten eerily quiet. Gosh, this place is like a giant pile of guts. Ew. What? I couldn't read that. Oh. I'm scared. Oh my god. This sucks. I'm stuck. I think I'm dead. Maybe we were meant to die there. Thank you for playing. I'm the developer of Dead Format, and I'm pouring my blood, sweat, and tears and nightmares into the project, so I appreciate you taking the time to play the demo. You're welcome. Dead Format. Okay, there's some screenshots here. You can wishlist the game on Steam and or follow on social hell sites. I didn't realize it was on Steam, so that's pretty cool. Here are some socials that we can go follow as well, and feedback format. I'm going to give you all my feedback in my review, and I hope that's appropriate. I don't know if we're able to actually progress past that part of the demo, but I shot that thing a few times and it didn't go down. I thought it was cool we were able to have a pistol like that. Like, it said the creature, when it ate, whatever it ate or touched, it would turn into, like, flesh. So they were using, like, rotten teeth as bullets. That's really cool. Okay, I'm back on the main menu, where now I'll review the game. I will start with visuals, go into audio, mechanics, story and concept, performance and settings, and then I'll give the game my final judgment. So visually, I think the game is great. I think it looks great. I really like the aesthetics. I like that it gives off this found footage appeal to it, especially since we're watching videotapes and literally going into them, and I think that's just a very interesting experience overall. But I think the way the game is presented visually makes it very immersive, and it's extremely effective in its environmental design and its enemy design that we saw. Really weird, creepy vibes going on. The first tape being black and white made it a little hard to see here and there, but it wasn't too bad. I do like the menus and, you know, the storage that, you know, we can access, and being able to inspect items and just all of that stuff I thought looked really great. I think everything in this game that I've experienced so far looks well done and well crafted, and I think there's a lot of attention to detail that I like in the apartment that we're in, or the flat that we're in, our brother's flat. I like all of the stuff in the house. Makes it look lived in, and I think it's very convincing as an environment. And I really liked the crypts and the catacombs that we were in, and the transition into the sewers. There was a nice juxtaposition there between this old-timey black and white film to a more 70s-ish sci-fi horror kind of thing being in the sewers. I thought that was pretty cool in the way they did that, and overall, can't say much else about the visuals. I think it's great and well done. In terms of audio, I would say the audio is pretty solid across the board as well. I like the music here on the main menu. It sets the tone very well. Just a really solid main menu in general. I think all of the sound effects being used in the videos themselves, the little intro trailers, if you want to call them that, I think is well done. I think you did a really good job with the live action stuff as well. I forgot to mention that in the visuals. And I like the live action stuff a lot. I think it comes across as appropriate for the time period that these movies are set in. And I think you're able to mirror that very well from videos of that time, and the audio I think really helps that a lot. I like the use of music throughout the game, especially the mad musician playing his violin and then also speeding up his song as he chases you. I thought that was a nice attention to detail there. And I think the overall creepiness and odd vibe the game has is very much supported by its sound design in general, and I think it's very effective, and I don't really have any issues that stand out. And I think overall I would say the audio is just really well done. In terms of mechanics, I really like the idea of being in sort of like a hub world. It reminds me of Silent Hill 4 and some other games that I've played, where we need to find VHSs, put them in the VHS player. We get a nice little intro, live action intro, which I think are really cool and really well done. And then as we explore, my assumption is, since we explored through the symphonies of the night, or whatever it was called, sorry, the first tape, and we were able to make as much progress as we could, but we don't have a weapon. But we got the second tape, which now gave us a weapon, and I assume once we finish the second tape through the sewers, then we can return back to the first tape and make progress through that. And I think that's really unique. I don't know if many other games that necessarily do that with this format, and I thought it was very engaging, and I very much liked the idea of you have some backtracking involved in this game, but they're isolated in their own videotapes, and I think that's really cool, and I'm really interested to see how far you go with that and how much that's able to break up the pacing and have us explore more in these tapes without it feeling too linear. So I think that was really effective, at least from what we were able to experience in the demo. I think the stealth worked pretty well in the first tape against the mad musician. It didn't feel annoying or anything like that, so I appreciate that. Obviously, you find some items laying around like blank tapes or healing tapes. I think that's an interesting concept in the way you're sort of using the theme to its strengths and having VHSs play a big role in that, and I think that's a good idea. I'm a little miffed on there being so much to read in the notes, and that's just a personal nitpick of mine. I'm not huge on notes personally. I don't mind them early on, do some world building like the newspaper explaining what GHL tapes are and stuff like that, reading notes from our brother. But there's a lot for us to read in this demo, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's just not my personal preference. There are some grammatical errors as well that I would work on. I would proofread your stuff a little bit better. And I'd also say, I forgot to mention, some of the loading screens and stuff have some weird overlay where it'll say loading and like this big rectangle that comes out from the side. And then it also says loading in the background behind it, so there's like some weird overlap happening there, and I'm sure you could clean up the loading screens a little bit in that regard. That's more of a visual thing. I'm just trying to encapsulate all this as I go. But I like the idea of us finally finding a weapon and it being themed with the tape that we're in, the sewers, so it's made out of flesh and teeth and bones, and then you use rotten teeth as bullets. That's a really cool concept. Remember reading in the description of the game that things that we find in each of the tapes will be appropriate to that setting and that location, and being able to take them out and cross them over into other tapes I think is a really cool idea. So mechanically overall, I think the game has a lot of promise and it's very interesting and I think very unique, and I'm excited to see where it takes us in the game, because I think the idea of jumping back and forth between tapes to make progress is a really cool idea. In terms of story and concept, I like the story. I always say stories are vague, especially in demos, but I think the bits and pieces we got in this is enough to really intrigue me. Our brother going missing because he had some sort of deep dive into what these tapes really are and how, I mean, I guess maybe what their origin is. Some people up high in the government, you know, discovered that and may have taken him or done something with him. Maybe he's trapped in one of these tapes. So now us as his brother are going through the tapes ourselves to figure out what happened to him. I think that's a pretty strong foundation for a story, and especially having the weird government sort of shadowy, creepy stuff going on with that. I'm trying to cover it up and also like publicly execute people that have these tapes, which is so extreme. And I find that very interesting and very haunting in a way. And I think story-wise, like I said, the game has a lot of promise and I am very intrigued by it. And I think you get just enough in this demo to make it effective. And I think, you know, showing some restraint and not giving away too much was also a smart idea. And like I've touched on already, conceptually, the game is very fascinating to me. This is right up my alley in its weirdness, its atmosphere, its you know, social commentary on the whole idea of like violent media creates violent people. I find that interesting, and I like your overall approach to the game's aesthetics and its just overall feel, and also the unique idea of going back and forth between these tapes to make progress through the game. So conceptually, I think the game is very fascinating, and like I said, unique, and I really like it. So great job there. In terms of performance and settings, I would say performance is good. I meet the recommended requirements for the most part. The game runs a little bit hot, has a little bit of a hiccup here and there from loading in between tapes and coming out of tapes. So I feel like maybe there's some fine tuning to be done in that regard to stop that from hitching so much. And I kind of wish there was a way, I forgot to mention this as well. I don't know what I would regard this as, but when I'm watching the trailers or sitting in the living room watching the VHS and it goes full screen where I'm actually watching it, I wish that the icon for interacting with things would go away. I wish you were able to phase those out. I think that would really help make it a little bit more immersive and, you know, viewing each tape for the first time. So I would work on that as well. So my computer was running a little hot playing this game. I bumped it down from epic preset to high preset. I think maybe going medium would have been a better choice for me. But overall, the game still performed totally fine, other than the weird hitches here and there, like I said. So in that regard, I would say performance is good across the board. I still think it might need some fine tuning, but I'll go ahead and open up the options now and we'll talk about that. I noticed here on the game settings, you have these difficulty, language, and subtitles. It doesn't actually let me interact with this in any way for some reason, and maybe just because it's a demo. But as you can see, set the gameplay difficulty. With a higher difficulty, enemies will be tougher and important items more rare. Players that are new to this genre should start out on easy difficulty, and it says default value medium. But over here on the left, it says easy. And like I said, I realize this is a demo. Maybe this is just sort of placeholder kind of stuff going on here for now, but I find it weird that I can't change this. And if the default value is medium, I would expect it to say medium here, not easy. Just wanted to point that out. In terms of audio, you can change your outputs device like speakers, headphones, stuff like that. You have your master volume, your sound effects volume, and your music volume. I bumped this down so I could hear myself talk on the main menu with the music playing. Pretty okay audio settings there. And then now you have video settings. This is your display settings. So you have your windowed mode, your aspect ratio, your resolution, which is grayed out as well. I can't change it. Brightness, so you can adjust that. That's good. If the game's a little bit too dark for you, you can adjust the brightness. You can lock your FPS, and you can also have VSync on. Yeah, I'm not really sure why I can't mess with the colors. Maybe there's a reason for that. Like I said, maybe it's just still needs some fine tuning on your end of things. I do appreciate that you have a description for each of these as well when you highlight them. I think that's a nice touch. Then here are your graphic settings. You have a whole lot of graphic settings to go through here, which you can adjust to your liking. You have presets, of course. You have global illumination, shadows, anti-aliasing quality, view distance, textures, effects, reflections, foliage, shading quality, and post-processing. You also have global illumination methods, which it's default lumen, reflection method, motion blur, lens flare, bloom, ambient occlusion. And you also have your resolution scale. You have your anti-aliasing methods. You have your upscale methods, NVIDIA DLSS, your frame generation, reflex, and FSR super resolution. And then you can go to controls here. This is your general settings with your controller type, your invert sticks on here. Your field of view, you can change your vertical and horizontal axes sensitivity, and you can also invert them. And also here are your key bindings, which looks good. You can re-key bind all of your stuff here. Rebind is what I meant to say. So that's great. I like that. A lot of great options here. I would say this is really solid to start out, especially on a demo. Of course, I'm not sure why some of this is grayed out and I'm unable to interact with it, but like I said, I'm sure you're working on that. So overall, I would say the settings are really solid and performance is good and could use a little bit of work, but overall, I would say the game performed fine and I really appreciate all of the settings. Good work there. So my final judgment for the Dead format demo is, I would say it's an excellent demo. It's at the top of my scale. It's a very enjoyable game. I very much like the visual aesthetics. I think the audio was solid. The mechanics are very intriguing and interesting, and I think very unique. I also very much enjoy the story and the concept of the game a whole lot. I think this is very interesting, like I said, and keep saying. I think it's great. I think you did a great job with this, and I think you have a lot of potential to make something really, really memorable here, and I think this is really cool. So keep up the great work, and I'm excited to see where you take this. So awesome job, like I said, top of my scale. I only have a few nitpicks in terms of how much you have to read in terms of the notes, and I think there could be some adjustments and fine-tuning in terms of performance and also the settings. But overall, like I said, awesome job. Keep up the great work, and I wish you the best of luck on your future endeavors. Tell me what you think in the comments below. What are your thoughts on this game? Do you agree or disagree with me? Do you have anything to add? You just want to say hi? Let me know what's up. And don't forget to check the pinned comment below for the links to everything. Go play this game for yourself and form your own opinion. I'm sure the developer would really appreciate your feedback as well as mine. Also, if you'd like to support my channel, hit subscribe, leave a like, comment, and share the video. I'd greatly appreciate that. And I thank you for watching my video. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I think that's all I have to say about it. So thanks for hanging out with me, and don't forget, the pale moth is always watching.